Welcome back, and moving on to our second segment for today, talking about the priorities of the new government and upon directives by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for confronting some of our challenges here in Egypt. Well, the main focus of the new government will be on the human capital and giving all facilities for the Egyptians for reaching all the required services and building human capital. Over the phone we have Mrs. Amira Saber, member of the Board of Trustees of the National Dialogue and member of the House of Representatives. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So first of all, of course, if we want to build any country, we have to take into consideration human capital, and taking into consideration giving more facilities and providing all the required environment for the citizens so that they can achieve and increase the production. And basically, whenever we talk about this, we have also to include education and medical insurance and medical system in general. And I think this has been taken into consideration not only now, but the focus now, yes, of course, is on this, but the Egyptian leadership has taken this into consideration some time ago, started with the initiatives that took place for the sake of the Egyptian citizen.
Right, yeah, exactly. So actually, either what we have been trying to do over the 2 years since the start of the national dialogue, and even the government plan now, is depending on what the national dialogue had as a kind of recommendation while putting its own strategy, and in the heart of which is how we can achieve tangible results in the fields of medical care, health, education, human rights. That is the dialogue to aim to actually open up the space for the political participation and for strengthening the pillars of human rights, trying to solve some of the pressing issues which have been there regarding freedom of speech or the participation in political life. So I see they are all connected actually, and we have been now reviewing in the parliament the government plan, which the government will consider for the approximate 1 year. And the plan, from what the Prime Minister has said at the part, is cornering one of its foundational core bases on human rights and how to invest more. Definitely we are challenged by the economic situation. Definitely we are much challenged by the geopolitical situation. And if this actually mandates something, it mandates that the government all across coordinate very well to prioritize these topics across its allocation of work, across its prioritization of its different agendas, so that it, for example, the file of international cooperation is targeting something, so it targets mainly international cooperation in the field which gives back to human rights, or which makes the situation better.
And I think also this will include the social awareness as well. And again, when we talk about this, we can see and we can feel that there is a direct channel between the Egyptian leadership and the citizens in general, giving them always update for all what is going on and all about the challenges that we are facing. And definitely this is very, very important so as to support the Egyptian leadership in this critical period of time as well.
I'm always asserting that one of the best things that happened in the political life in the past years was the national dialogue, which actually was initially very much welcomed and encouraged by an initiative from the president himself. And what happened actually is that we got everyone on the table. Everyone who was either an expert in the field or representing any political party was having a voice during the national dialogue. And I think also during the upcoming period of the national dialogue, the most important thing is translating these recommendations into action, and that the new government would be that serious and that determined to take these recommendations seriously and to implement them, because I think once they are implemented, especially that there are senses of legislative interventions and executive interventions that could transform how the citizen feels towards his rights, towards actually the services that are provided to him. For the political life, there are legislations that target to make it much better, to open up the space, to reform some of the legislations that govern the elections, that govern the municipalities, that govern even the political participation. And on our table, too, is during this upcoming week, is the pre-trial detention file, which I think is one of the most important files where interventions that are insightful and reformative very much needed.
Well, when it comes to the initiatives that took place, including Haya Karima, including also the medical insurance to prevail all over Egypt that started with some governing rates, how far, or to focus on the impact of these initiatives on the life of Egyptians, how far did it help them and just pave the way for better life for many people actually who suffered for years from being deprived from their basic rights?
Haya Karima is undoubtedly one of the most important actually developmental interventions and plans that happened in these countries. And this initiative is very, very ambitious. And the budget that is allocated to Haya Karima is a huge one. What I think is really important during the upcoming times is we monitor and evaluate how this has really impacted the lives of the people. Is there is a need to prioritize more of some areas? Because, for example, we have built census of new schools, even hundreds at Haya Karima. We need also to capitalize on the building of a school to train and to capacitate and to actually hire equivalent amount of teachers and elevating the whole educational system so that we complement what has been built with the human factor and with how this human factor should take every plan or target to a further level. Same thing is happening with the hospitals, for example. There are pressing issues like actually the brain drain, which is happening with the medical team, how we increase the number and the quality of the graduates of the medical schools so that this reflects tangibly on the lives of the citizens. So what has been built during the past years should be also complemented with much more focus on the human factor so that this is tangibly felt across the country. And the capitalization and the investments which happened in the cement and the buildings is also comprehended and is felt by the citizens that it touches their lives directly in the fields of health and education, and the decreasing of the prices after the spike of the inflation and the devaluation of the currency. So I'm very hopeful that the future could bring what is better. I'm very hopeful that the recommendations of the national dialogue would be considered and implemented by the government, and the big and the mega initiatives that the country started during the past years is coming to more of tangibility and focus that is felt by the citizen, which makes actually the policies regarded as real and regarded as of real benefit tangibly by the citizens, which increases the whole level of satisfaction. And it gives back to how the politicians and how the participation in the political spaces is translated into real action.
I think also monitoring and following up with this and making sure that we are reaching all people, all Egyptians in all governing rates, this is going to be very, very important as well.
Yes, absolutely. The component of following, the component of monitoring and evaluation is part of how we make or shape a real good policy. So I ask my colleagues at the parliament, and I encourage everyone who has in his hands an oversight tool to invest also in the feedback process, in the monitoring and evaluation. This process is done seriously and if done on the basis of science and good managerial terms, it greatly affects what we invest in every area.
Right, and we have seen this actually taking place around, in addition to the concept of the collaboration, even when we have seen the young people, they are just working as volunteers to reach people all around, and this collaboration also is very, very important for the whole society.
Absolutely. Egypt is blessed by the number and the percent of the population that is composed of youth. This is a very youthful population. And the capacities of the youth and their abilities and what they could do to transform the lives of their people is huge. So actually having the core functioning part of these initiatives, considering youth and their participation and having a hub for them to dedicate their time and to expand their expertise and to feel that they are an integral part of how these policies are made and how they are implemented is a key factor to take this country ahead.
Right. Mrs. Amira Saber, member of the Board of Trustees of the National Dialogue and member of the House of Representatives, thank you very much for joining us. And with this, we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International.